Welcome, wonderful people, to the Sunday Rune and Card reading. These weekly readings are here to offer guidance, to support and give direction as we navigate our daily lives, our weekly lives. Thank you so much for joining me. This week we're actually going to be guided by the additional messages that come from some very powerful herbs of peace, really, herbs that support us, natural products that support us in managing transition, and very interesting. I've been using them all week and was really called to bring them into this reading. So reading number one, I've actually been burning these, but these are just fresh, so that I thought I would bring some fresh ones out just to place them around the cards. Now, reading number one is going to be guided by juniper. This is a juniper smudge stick. Juniper is quite amazing. It's associated with the element of fire. It's known to have a very strong connection to manifestation. It really enables us to let go of anything unhelpful, any unhelpful blocks within us that might be holding us back. I've known it used ceremonially, very much as a source of protection and in cutting cords. If we've had any unhelpful associations with anyone, really helps us to cut those cords and to kind of keep our own energy clean and clear. So reading number one is going to be guided by the energy of juniper. Reading number two, we're going to use sweetgrass. Now, sweetgrass is absolutely amazing. Sweetgrass, when you burn it, it just smells like vanilla. And in the same way that sage, I'm just going to try and turn it into a knot. Yes, that's going to work. Lovely. So in the same way that sage will, when we burn white sage, it repels negativity, it disperses negativity. Sweetgrass literally attracts positivity, so it has the most incredible energy. Again, very helpful in manifestation. These are actually, I've been using these herbs all week, actually in a connection together, but nevertheless they kind of also stand alone. So juniper, cutting cords, manifestation, letting go of the past. Also manifestation, attracting positivity. Sweetgrass, absolutely wonderful. Now, in our reading number three, I'm making a combination here. I've got both lavender and also a piece of black copal. Now, copal we have to burn ultimately on a piece of, maybe on a piece of charcoal or a hot rock. If you have a wood burning stove, you can put a stone in there. Make sure it's the right sort of stone. Stones can shatter. But if you've got something like a piece of granite, you can heat it up in your wood burning stove and then use it to burn your herbs. Copal will sizzle away on it in the same way that it will burn on charcoal. Now, copal is the resin, it's the lifeblood of the tree, and traditionally, actually, copal was taken from trees that were struck by lightning. It is said literally, I mean, copal comes from the Aztec word copali, which means the sacred blood of the tree, and it's known for its powerful healing qualities. It's been used by native peoples for centuries and centuries for healing. It's associated with repair, and it's said to offer a really high level of purification. Now, I've kind of joined it together with lavender because lavender it's known as an adaptogen, which means that its energy goes to the place it is needed most for healing. Lavender is associated with healing, but also with peace. The combination of these two is a very powerful healer. If you're struggling with anxiety, burning a combination of lavender and copal is really amazing. It will bring you peace, it will bring you calm, it will level you out. And so in terms of manifestation, if you have a wobble, and at the moment the astrological energy is very intense, this is a powerful combination to burn. So very good, again, in terms of manifestation, in keeping you grounded, keeping you calm, keeping you in a peaceful space, and in healing anything that surfaces in your journey of manifestation that you need to work with in any way, shape or form. So these are the powerful energies that we are going to be guided by and supported by in our three readings today. We're also going to be using 3 packs of cards. Our first pack of cards is it's the Keepers of the Light. Yes, that's right, the Keepers of the Light. This is a Kyle Gray pack. It's an Oracle pack. We're also going to be using the Light Seers Tarot absolutely lovely pack of cards, and also the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards, and we're going to be using the runes, as always. Now, in the comments and in the information box, you will find the timings to the readings. So if you already know which reading you want to fast forward to, you can do so. Just click on those links. Some people like to sit with me as I draw the cards and the runes, so by all means do please do that if you wish. Now guys, I just want to quickly bring something up onto the screen. I'm going to be doing this in all of my readings. Just a little reminder, do please share this with as many people as possible. We are in a very intense period of astrological energy. We are in the build-up to a very intense peak of energy that takes place between February the 16th and the 24th. This astrological connection is going to happen 3 times this year, and I'm really want to reach out and ask as many people as possible to join me in a collective prayer during these peak times of intensity, because these peak times of intensity can generate a lot of emotionally challenging behaviors. We can see polarities, difficulties, challenges, but within them there is the opportunity for breakthrough, for a higher level of vision, a higher level of the higher level energetic is all about breakthrough, innovation, new ways of thinking, new ways of being, bridging gaps, coming through in a space that holds the well-being of the collective. These are very powerful times of change, and this is the predominantly most powerful aspect, I think, of 2021, and it happens 3 times in the year. So may I please just put that out there. Do please join me, do please share this with as many people as possible. I'll be doing a lot of postings on the AZ of Emotional Health Facebook page and on Instagram as well. You can find me there, Jenny Florence 2. I think I am on Instagram, and the AZ of Emotional Health Facebook page. I'll put a link in the comments and the information box as well. I'm going to be posting quite a lot of the moon charts and talking a lot about the energy as we build up into this peak time where we can really hold an opportunity to raise actually the level of the overall consciousness of humanity. It's a very, very powerful year this year. Very different to last year, but nevertheless very powerful. So I'll be talking and posting a lot about that. So thank you so much for hearing me on that. Let me remove that now. And I'm going to move forwards and start to draw the cards. As I said, you can connect through to any of the readings through the timestamps as well if you wish to just move forwards. You may find it's one reading that's speaking to you, it may be more than one. And guys as well, thank you so much for joining me, for being a part of this amazing YouTube community. You guys are just awesome. Thank you for your likes, your shares, your comments. Your support of me and of one another is absolutely amazing and inspirational. So thank you all. So let us move in and draw our cards. I'm going to move these out of the way, clear our space a little bit, and move some of our little bits of herbs that are floating around. Okay, so first of all, let's work with this pack. Hearing we are just going to have one of these cards in each of the readings. Ooh, big energy coming through. Very, very powerful energy. I'm feeling like I don't know if you guys are picking up on this. As I started to draw these cards, it was like a surge of energy coming through. I think these are going to bring very powerful messages. I actually feel as though they're probably going to be connecting into the energetic of these herbs, the combination of the herbs as well. Very powerful. And now the Light Seers Tarot. Lovely, lovely tarot pack. They're relatively new to me, but I've been working with them. When I get a new pack, I work with them sort of privately, really, on my own for a while. I really need to bond with the cards, get to know them and see how they speak both to me and through me. That card is calling to come out. We're going to have 4 for each of the readings. And lastly, but not leastly, the Art of Manifestation cards. Ooh. They're flying out, really showing themselves today. We're going to have 3 for each. First. Or second. Oops. Wow, guys, I cannot put that into this reading, even though it may well come through again. I really can't, because it's showing itself to us. And as 3 readings, it's important that we are drawn to them in many ways without knowing what the cards are. It may well show itself back through again. We shall see. There we are. Okay. So, Super Souls, we have 3 piles, and this is the time when you might want to just sit with your intuition, pause the video even for a while, tune into the energy of the herbs, the energy of the cards, the readings, and just see which one you are drawn to. If you are drawn to more than one, you may well find there is more than one message here for you. Wonderful people, they are in a playlist, so I put the Sunday card and rune readings into a playlist, which means as well that you can actually go back and randomly choose a reading at any time if you feel you need guidance, rather than waiting for the current one. I sometimes find I can go back to one and it will be exactly what I need to hear, but it could be from months ago. To be fair, I know that happens to you guys too. Often I still get comments through on readings that were done quite a while ago, and they've just sort of somehow found themselves, found their way to you as you have found them. Wonderful, wonderful friends, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you especially for those of you that are sharing the collective prayer. We are in a very big build-up of intense energy. Astrologically, it's a very powerful time. So, wonderful people, I will see you in the readings, and thank you so much thank you just for being you. You are awesome. So much love to you. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 1. Now, if you're wondering why we didn't draw the runes, this has happened a couple of times where I've moved on without drawing the runes. And what I've realized then is that I'm needing to draw them when I do the readings. And when we've done this, the same rune has surfaced in more than one of the readings. Whereas if we draw them all initially, that simply can't happen. So we're going to draw our runes as we are present in this reading. So we'll draw 2. We have the rune of constraint and we have the rune of journey. So let's look at our runes first. The rune of constraint means that something around you is, maybe you're feeling trapped, or something is restricting. There's a restricting energy. Now, the rune of journey is interesting because sometimes it can literally mean you need to travel, you need to move on, you need to get going. Sometimes the rune of constraint says maybe there are some things we have to attend to before we can move forwards. The rune of journey can also indicate that we need to journey within ourselves in order to, again, removing any obstacles on our pathway, any blocks to our way forwards. Now, this is interesting because, of course, juniper is all about cutting cords, purification, protection. I'm going to place our 2 runes up here next to the juniper. It feels quite the right place for them. Let's have a look at our cards. So we have Paul the Venetian, experiencing grace. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. This is very much about sharing, this card. You have something to share. You need to bring something forth. So is the Page of Wands. And yet we have the card of walk away. This is interesting. So we have 3 of Cups. We have Justice. We have the High Priestess, the Page of Wands. We also have intention, course correct, and walk away. This is really tuning in. The walk away card is tuning in with the constraint. There's a need for you to walk away from something, to break free from something. The card of Justice is asking you to weigh something up realistically. Okay, now let's look at these cards first of all before we tune into the tarot. First of all, intention. Intention is a focused thought. Prayer is a focused thought. Worry is also a focused thought. Notice the predominant thoughts that you hold in your mind, because these are actually sending a request into the universe. If necessary, consciously make adjustments to your thinking patterns. Now, this is really interesting because this is really asking you to journey within and be aware of your thinking patterns. What is it within you that may be holding you back from moving away from something? You are needing, this is really direct, you are needing to walk away from something. This is one of the most direct cards in this pack. Walk away from this situation. When we face a challenging or unhealthy situation, it can be hard to let go and move on. Sometimes we stay in the hope that someone else will change, or perhaps we're so fearful of the unknown that we remain in the safety of a known and yet toxic situation. This card validates your entitlement to leave. Course correct. There is an adjustment that needs to be made here. Interestingly enough, it says if an obstacle or diversion has interrupted your plans, this card is here to assure you that delay is providential, bringing you an opportunity to pause and reassess in order to fine-tune your direction. There is something around you that is causing a constraint, a blockage, a hold-up. Please, the message that's coming through really clearly is, please don't perceive this as an indication that something that you wish to bring into the world is wrong. You're not on the wrong track in that way. That's what I'm hearing really carefully. There's something around you that needs to change, or you need to let go of. A someone or a circumstance. Something isn't right. You need to course correct. Something is holding you back, I would venture to say, or something that someone you were engaging with, or something that you were becoming involved in, the pathway that you thought you were going to take. This is what I'm being shown. It's like a deviation on the road. That's what I'm seeing. I think your end goal, something that you are wanting, that it's something very deeply personal in terms of your desire, is still the right pathway, but the way you thought you were going to get there, or the route to that pathway, was not right for you. Something's not right. Someone isn't right for you. Something isn't right for you. You have something to bring into the world. You can bring forth your greatest gifts. You're being asked to become, literally to consolidate something. You have to cut some cords here. The juniper is very powerful. It's really saying you need to cut some cords. For some of you, it literally is a cutting cords to someone, or to the route that you thought you were going to take to get to your desires. Listen to your intuition. Weigh things up. The Three of Cups, this is a card for me that tends to suggest celebration, collaboration. Okay, but it's interesting, because whatever the collaboration you thought you were involved in, there's some aspect of it that needs to be properly evaluated. You really need to see this clearly. This is a time to trust your insight and intuition above and beyond what is seemingly apparent to you. Listen to yourself. Something in you is going to feel not okay about something, and rather than believing that, you know, or taking this on as a personal thing that says, actually, you know, what I wanted to do wasn't right. What you want to do is right. It's just you need to find a different route to it, or a different person to collaborate with. There's something that's not right about the collaboration that you were going to enter into. The gifts that you are going to birth into the world are there to be shared. Paul the Venetian, experiencing grace. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. Page of Wands. There is something very magical that you wish to bring into the world. It's some aspect of you. It's some aspect of your calling. 2021 is really a year where and it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen overnight, but 2021 is the year when I think we really have an opportunity individually to see how we can, to see where our greatest contribution lies. 2020 stopped us in our tracks. It asked us to reflect, it asked us to reevaluate. It said, look, loads of stuff that's happening in humanity isn't okay. We're going to destructure your world so that you can change it and birth something very new into the world that involves higher levels of consciousness for a global collective humanity. 2021 is the year when it's kind of like, okay, you stopped, you had a very big pause, you have reviewed. Now what are you going to do? How are you going to birth newness into the world? And how are you going to do this individually? There is such an energetic in 2021 that helps us to find our place in the greater calling as we move into a new age. And it's a new age where we can bridge those gaps of inequality. We can find new innovative ways of doing things that enable humanity to move to a place where we can live in harmony. Of course, what we're seeing is massive resistance to this big energetic move forwards at the moment. And we are in this big rise of energy at the moment as well that is going to peak. So yeah, very powerful year. Something that you were involved in, or someone, or it is literally the route you thought you were taking is needing to be changed and adjusted, walked away from, and really, really clearly leave that pathway, that route, but don't lose sight of what it was you were going to birth into the world. Some of you are just needing to cut some really big cords. Someone or something has been holding you back, and energetically, when you cut that cord, you are going to be liberated and free to move forwards. You really can see the pathway if you tune into your intuition. There is some collaboration here, some connection, some collaboration that you thought was the right pathway and it isn't, and stuff is going on around you that is going to, I think, bring that to light and cause you to be able to move forwards. It might feel a bit disruptive, but there's real purpose to this. There is actually guidance around it, I think. Wonderful people. Very powerful reading number 1. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again for other readings. I am working on the big several month long readings that I am doing. I was really called to do this for every sign. So far I have done I've done Aries and Taurus. So Gemini, you are next. And I will be doing these amongst the rest of my world. It's felt really important to give people an overview of the energy as we are moving through this powerful time, this pivotal peak of energetic change. So these readings are stretching right through to the end of March and into the very beginning of April, actually. So very powerful readings so far, quite magical readings as well, all about massive transformation in such a powerfully positive way, with a lot of indications as to how we can really grasp that higher energetic and use it in a personal way. So awesome people, so much love to you, tons and tons of virtual hugs, and I will see you all again soon. So much love. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 2. No doubt you will have noticed that we didn't draw runes when we were drawing the cards. Sometimes this happens, and it usually happens because the same rune is asking to come through for more than one reading, and so we draw them then for each of the readings. We're drawing 2 for each of the readings. That's what I'm hearing today. The rune we are drawing first for this reading number 2 is fertility. And our second is the rune of movement. Okay, so the rune of fertility and the rune of movement. Now, fertility is a rune of great promise, actually. It's a fruit-bearing rune, but it does say that it requires completion in some way, completion of beginnings. The rune of movement would suggest that whatever whatever you are starting or whatever you are initiating, it is going to gather momentum. It's going to move forwards. This is the bettering of any situation. However, completion of beginnings. So completion of beginnings as well. It's a bit like if you've started something, if you've started writing a book, it's like you've written the outline. It's the celebration of that, and now the rest of the book is going to gather momentum. It's got that flavour. Completion of beginnings in order to move forwards. Wonderful energy of sweetgrass coming through. Wow, we have the Miriam, sacred vision. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. Remember that love has no boundaries. This is fascinating, this energy of attracting positivity. See if I can place our sweetgrass here. The Miriam, choose to forgive. There is a completion of something that needs to be, something needs to come to an end in some way. This is really interesting because we have Six of Cups, which is for me very much about it's looking back, it's nostalgia. Choices, we have Seven of Cups, the card of Judgment, see the higher vision, and then we see the card of Strength. Wow, this is huge. Look at this, new beginnings, let go gracefully, authenticity, new beginnings. Wow. This is absolutely, the energy of this is really huge. I felt a big surge of energy when I was drawing the cards at the beginning. For those of you that were tuning in with me at the time, it was actually this second reading when I drew that card that I felt that surge of energy, and I'm feeling it again now. I want to say, guys, you've been through something really quite tough. That's really, really coming through. You've been through something that's been really quite tough. This reading is really, it's here to bring you hope. It's here to say, look, actually, moving on from something is the best thing in the world for you. A fertile future awaits. Completion of beginnings. Wrap things up. Cross the T's, dot the I's. It's time to move forwards. It's time to heal. It's time to forgive. See the light in everyone. Find your strength within. Be the bigger person. Rise above. Choices are going to be open to you. And, you know, there is a flavour of nostalgia, of looking back. But the Six of Cups for me really, in this pack, really speaks of the healing that takes place when we grieve for something that didn't work out. You know, when something didn't come to fruition, that we wanted it to come to fruition, but it didn't. And so there's a need to create a new beginning. Let go gracefully. Something in your life is calling for you to let it go. Let go gracefully. Whatever has taken place in the past, it is time to move forwards, and letting go will make way for the new. Whether this is a person, a situation, an outdated thought or behaviour pattern, this card comes to assure you that new horizons are waiting for you. Hold your head up high. Love this. Authenticity. Hold your head up high. Walk tall and be your authentic self. This card asks you to shed the masks that you believed you were required to wear. Walk to the beat of your own drum and do not be afraid to shine. In doing so, you give others permission to do the same. New beginnings are around you. This card indicates that you are about to begin a new chapter of your life. Shed, release and cleanse. Let go of any obstacles, inner or outer, that prevent you from engaging fully in moving forwards. The time is right for a fresh start and a new beginning. The universe supports you in your growth. This reading has this incredible surge of energy with it. Choices, new directions are opening for you. You are on a new pathway of fertility. Things are going to gather momentum. This is the bettering of any situation. This is a real flow of energy moving forwards, a flow of you refinding your strength. You've been through something, whatever that was for you. Personally, you've been through something that was very, very tough. This sweetgrass is just drawing in the positivity, asking you to move forwards, to let go of the past, to see the light in everything and everyone. Forgive whoever has, or whatever the circumstances were. Forgive and move beyond. The energy is with you to move forwards. This is your time for a new beginning. The energy in this reading is just phenomenal. It is like you re-finding your strength, discovering that you are, it's almost like you find the innocence within you again of being able to begin life afresh. And yet it's like you re-find that innocence within you, that sense of hope and purity. Simultaneously, you carry the wisdom that comes and the strength that comes from the wisdom of experience. This is a powerful card. It's a powerful combination of energy surging through you, rebirthing through you, through your own processing of something. This is huge. Whatever is asking to leave in your life, let it go gracefully. This is a time of emergence into the new. There are new choices awaiting you, new beginnings. The key here is be your amazing self. Be your authentic self. Do not be afraid to shine. Whatever took place, somebody or something has held you back or tried to hold you back or tried to stifle you in some way. I'm really seeing that. It's time to move beyond that. Be you. Step up, honor yourself. I mean, wow, this is about hope. It's about new beginnings. It's about, it really walk to the beat of your own drum. This is lovely. Just the energy here is phenomenal. Wonderful people, whatever you went through, walk tall and be proud. You've come through this. You've come out the other side. This is the absolutely new. It's the time for you to begin afresh, and it's magic. Wonderful people, so much love to you. Namaste. See you soon. Welcome to reading number 3. No doubt you will have noticed that we didn't draw runes. If you've watched more than one reading, my apologies that I'm repeating this bit, but if reading number 3 is your first choice of reading, you'll have noticed I didn't draw the runes when I drew the cards. Now this happens because sometimes the same rune wishes to come through, and when that happens, we need effectively to draw from the whole bag of runes for each reading. So I'm now going to draw in here now. Okay, our first rune is the rune of fertility. Interestingly, this actually was drawn in one of the other readings, so that accounts for why this has emerged in this way. And our second rune is the rune of disruption. Okay, so fertility is a rune of, it's a fruit-bearing rune. Fertility requires completion of something, completion of beginnings. The rune of disruption is interesting because this for me is a bit like Uranus, the great awakener, and the energy of Uranus is very present with us at the moment. It's causing quite a lot of disruption, but disruption so that we can burst through into higher ways of doing things and seeing things. So I'm wondering what this completion of beginnings is about for you guys. What's the disruption? Very much centered on this lovely energetic of copal. This is actually black copal, which is actually only just been able to get this. I've never used black copal before. It's got an amazing energy, and of course the wonderful energy of lavender. So there's a lot of healing going on around this reading. Wonderful. Look at that. Green Tara, supreme protection. You are protected. Cords are being cut. Move beyond limitation and trust. Whatever disruption's going on around you, trust that it is taking place with purpose. Okay, so we have 4 of Cups, 8 of Swords in reverse. We have the card of the Empress and the card of the Wheel. Magical. Look at this. Choices and decisions. This was the card. That's the interesting thing. This card actually flew out of the pack when I was drawing, and I put it back in, and I did say if it's meant to be, it will come back out again. And here it is. Choices and decisions, synchronicity, and the card of miracles. This is magic. Okay, so you're needing to reflect on something here. It's like, firstly, I want to say, I think that you're feeling a bit despondent about something, but It's not as bad as you think. That's what I want to say. It's not as bad as you think. Yes, I think it's gosh, the world at the moment, there is so much going on. I think it can really, what we're seeing in a lot of people, I'm noticing it in many of my conversations with people, there's quite a little bit of depression creeping in, a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of despondency. Sometimes it's not just a little bit. You know, I think people are beginning to really, in a personal way, in terms of their own well-being, their own state of mind, their mental health, their emotional health, people are beginning to really feel the impact of the longevity of this whole situation, along with all the other stuff that is going on. This is about protection, healing, knowing that the disruption is actually taking place in order to bring forth the new. Okay, now however this is taking place in your world, again, this is really interesting because this reading is really an affirmation of safety, protection, and a removal of limitations that are sitting within your own mind. I'm not saying they haven't come because of a real situation, but you are being asked to, or it's being acknowledged here that the circumstances are beginning to weigh heavy, and this is really showing you that there will be a way through. The Four of Cups, there's a sense of despondency, a sense of, is it ever going to work? But you're being asked to look here. Eight of Swords in reverse, really interesting. Because for me, the Eight of Swords, if we put that in the upright position, it's really saying, again, you know, the things that are troubling you, are not necessarily as bad as you, it's not going to work out as bad, it's not going to be as bad as you think it is. That's perhaps the best way of saying it. It's kind of like, actually just have a look at this. Let's kind of get out of our own way, stand back and look at the bigger picture. I mean, we have here, in fact, I would say because this is in reverse, I would say that you're kind of ready to do this. The Empress, the world, the wheel here. I mean, I was about to say the world, the wheel, but it's the Wheel of Fortune. The Empress here, lean into that goddess energy. Actually, something really big is birthing in your world. What I feel is it's slow to come to fruition. It's not moving forwards at the moment, and it's causing you anxiety. But whatever you have started, there is a promise of fertility here. If the way is disrupted, it just simply means that you are needing to, I just want to say, it's being disrupted with purpose. Choices and decisions. There's anxiety around making choices and decisions here. This card says the choices that we make today are defining the shape of our tomorrow, and so it's hardly surprising that we sometimes worry about making the right decisions. Do not shroud your mind in the fog of uncertainty. Just as you have choices today, you also have choices tomorrow and the day after. Be assured you can always change course again. Don't worry. I think there's a sense of, as I said, of being burdened or over worrying. It's what I call, you know, when we get into what I would call the what if thinking. What if this happens? What if that happens? We're overthinking something to the point where we're holding ourselves back. If anything, it means that we almost create the disruption ourselves. Actually, if we kind of get out of our own way, recognize here that you are protected. You are being asked to move beyond limitation. Trust. There are miracles around you. We tend to perceive miracles only when our personal desires are met, and yet when we look back, almost all of us will be able to recall a crisis or a challenge that ultimately proved to be a miraculous turning point and an extraordinary gift. This card asks you to see the miracles that surround you right now and in every situation. This card is literally saying, you know, sort of like literally get out of your own way. Synchronicity. Stuff is actually happening around you. The challenge is, if we are embedded in quite a lot of, well, I mean, you know, just the energy that's around at the moment, it's challenging in itself. It means that it's like, rather than seeing a disruption as a synchronistic experience, if we're too much in our head and we're worrying too much about things, it means that we see it as just as a disruption rather than actually a window of opportunity. This is really reassuring here. Synchronicity are seemingly random coincidences showing up in your life. This card asks you to listen to the signs and take them seriously. You are tuning into the universal energy of a greater collective consciousness, and these synchronicities are arriving in your world to guide you. Listen. That's what I'm really wanting to say. Listen. Stop worrying. Don't do the what if stuff. Move out of the way of that. You are birthing something here. The wheel is turning. So whatever it is that you are wanting to initiate, whatever it is that you are fertilizing, as it were. You know, this is wonderful, the rune of fertility. Completion of beginnings. Let go of some stuff. Let go of the stuff in your head and allow the universe to create those disruptions that actually are synchronistic events. They are miracles that are moving you forwards. I think your pathway is going to be cleared so that you do move forwards. There's something about shifting the mindset here. You're protected, you are being given healing, the energy of healing, the energy of peace and tranquility is around you. It's interesting because when I was talking about the herbs, the sacred herbs at the beginning, I was just saying this combination is so good at grounding you in a way that stops you from feeling anxiety about the future. Copal is amazing. It's very clean. It really cleans the energy so that if we're feeling negative or stuck, it helps us to shift our mindset and bring positivity. Lavender, so grounding, so soothing, so peaceful, so calm. It helps us to kind of ride the waves when the energy is very intense, and actually it is at the moment. That's just how it is. So wonderful people, I feel like this is a reading of reassurance. It's saying look beyond the surface and see that everything that is happening around you is happening with purpose. The wheel is turning. You know, openings are coming to you. Whatever you have wanted to initiate and bring forth into the world, it is going to emerge. This feels like quite a space of rebirth. It's just, I always think when we think about that term, rebirth, a birth is interesting because sometimes we have to push, sometimes we have to stop and breathe. You know, there are times to push forwards, times to breathe. When we're breathing, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It just means it's not the right time to push. But actually, everything that's happening around you is happening with purpose. Don't be afraid. There's nothing to fear. Everything that is taking place around you is actually, it has a higher purpose to it, and something that you are birthing into the world is really truly part of the wheel turning and opening up new horizons and new doorways for you. So remain grounded, see beyond the illusion. That's what I want to say. Wonderful people, we are living through very extraordinary times. If you want to keep abreast of some of the sort of astrological happenings, I'm going to be posting increasingly on the A to Z of Emotional Health Facebook page, putting up moon charts and talking about the sort of dynamics of the energy. So, you know, if you would like to follow those, do check in. And of course, do watch out for those big readings that I'm doing that are taking every sign through February, through March, from now, literally in January through February, through March and into the very beginning of April, because we are riding a mammoth wave of energy that's coming in. It peaks in February. March is very, very different energetically, but I think it's really helpful in these big sort of big, almost I almost want to say a tsunami kind of wave of energy, to really be able to have guidance and receive support along the way. You know, astrology and tarot readings, I think, offer us an amazing level of it's like a roadmap of support to help us to navigate these energetic peaks and times of intense transformation as we move into a new age. Wonderful friends, thank you so much for joining me. If you want to get a notification of any of the readings, do please subscribe and press the little bell icon as well. That way they should come through in your stream. So much love to you. Namaste.